Hey. All right. So, welcome to another one of my rants. So, I don't remember which podcast I was actually listening to. It's like one of those red pill stuff. And there's one of the things that I usually see with a lot of these red pill conversations, right? Is the level of requirement a lot of these guys put in place as to their ideal wives, you know, and at times it sounds so so unrealistic. It's almost as if like, dude, let, let's just say that you would just be better off and say that I don't want to get married. I'm never gonna get married, and just be it. Because like I do understand when, let's say, you are trying to tell chicks that type of talk, right? Let's say that you're just smashing about, you're not really doing much, and then you kind of come up with this list and to let this girl know, and you don't want to disparage her, so she stopped messing around with you. She just like move on and find someone else, something more serious. But you kind of give that hope about, like, well, this is what I'm looking for in a woman, and now blah blah blah, right? But you don't have to do that too. Like, I guess, look, it's this is the funny thing about it, right? You have this whole, you know PP measuring contest about who has more bodies and stuff like that, right? Oh yeah, I got like nothing but dimes, and yeah, I got nothing but uh baddies, or whatever nicknames that. It's interesting because when I hear these guys talk, right? These guys, when they are speaking, I'm like, yo, they're a whole bunch of nerds. I'm not saying that in a bad way, because sure, I'm a nerd too. I could be goofy as hell sometimes, but it's just, you have nerds took over the conversation, or what it's like to be a player, or whatever the case may be, and guys who've been there, done that, are looking at this whole scene and just like they just can't stop laughing, because it's this whole scenario of manhood is now being interpreted as whoever slay the most chicks, as well as whoever have the baddest chicks, right? To a certain degree, I guess, it's part of the requirement, like, manhood, but the emphasis that actually put in place when it comes to, like, strictly on sex, or the female counterpart, I just find it quite hilarious. But anyway, so the whole conversation about trophy wives, and so when you have all these requirement about what you want your wife to look like, right? Her butt gotta be this big, her boobies gotta be this large, she gotta be a D cup or whatever, blonde, fit, able to work out all the time, and then still have time to cook you breakfast, and and provide you with some of that neck service or some of that mouth service at your command, right? And I hear guys going as far as saying that she needs to be a virgin. you know, it's like getting a brand new car with no mileage on it whatsoever. But what happened when she got into the third base with someone? Oh, no, she's a whore now. So okay. So let's say that you get yourself with that trophy wife that you wanted, right? So then what? The thing about a trophy is that you cannot be satisfied with just one trophy. Once the excitement of winning that trophy wears off, then what? you know, because like I understand most of us, right? Most of us, we're try to have the world perceive us a certain way, you know, and therefore we are now living our lives based on an unrealistic expectation of ourselves instead of actually try to take the time out and find out who we truly are as an individual. You know, where do we need to grow, whether it's spiritually or mentally or emotionally. So those growth comes second because we're too busy trying to actually create an illusion to the world. We want the world to perceive us a certain way. So then our women or our partner or whoever we choose to be our partner becomes this piece of ornament that kind of match the perspective we're trying to create to the world, you know. So she's just there as just a piece of jewelry, something to hang around your neck or something of that sort. She's not a, you don't see her as a person, someone that actually has you know, um something else outside of her beauty. And then this is where the funny thing comes up, because the thing about trophy, right? The thing about trophy is, like I said, once the excitement wears off, and then you probably end up just putting that trophy somewhere in a closet collecting dust, or somewhere in a mantle or something like that collecting dust. And the pride of that trophy, once it wears off, and that same trophy that you are so proud of to try to show off to everybody and stuff like that, right? To be like, see, look at me. This is the type of guy I am because I was able to get that type of chick, right? But that trophy also becomes a reminder, once as time passes by, it also becomes a reminder of the men that you used to be. You know, every time you're now looking at your trophy wives that now has a couple of dents because it's been time. She's not gonna have the 22-year-old body forever, right? I mean, granted, the surgery and all this cosmetic stuff able to make it things easier now to for people to remain in the fountain of youth for longer, but at the same time, you still gonna keep seeing yourself as, yeah, I can still get me a 22-year-old, even though it's still a lie you are telling yourself. But she's now there to remind you that you are also getting older, right? You no longer this player or this pimp where women just fan over you as soon as they see you. They're like, "Oh my god, he's so hot." So you might have you might have a trophy, but you still continue to place yourself in a position where you can still go out there and get that 22-year-old or get that barely 18-year-old type of thing, because of you still you now have this insecurity, like, okay, why is she with me for? Is she with me because of me? Because the thing is, like, the story that you tell everybody else, right, is that you are this, this top dog, and this alpha male, so on and so forth. But dude, we all put our pants on one leg at a time, right? There's nothing really special about you that actually to think that you are somewhat immune to life's problems and whatnot, right? And then when age starts to kick in, and then you start to think about things on a deeper level, where it's like, if whatever I have right now, if I lose it all tomorrow, would she still be there? Would this trophy wife that I have, would she be with me through thick and thin? Would she be there if the times are bad and stuff like that, right? And that insecurity itself starts to eat at you slowly. And because you never really have like an honest conversation for the most part with your significant other, with that trophy wife, because what else she's there for except but to provide the beauty supply, that is you don't really have an in-depth conversation with her the same way that you don't really have an in-depth conversation with a piece of jewelry or with a car or something like that. you know she's tradable. At least that's what you see it as, she's tradable. But what happened when you get to the point where, yeah, you might trade her, but for what are you going to be able to get something better than her now? That's where the fear and the insecurity starts to play in, because you are now finally start to realize that, oh crap, I am getting old, you know, and you spend so much time try to convey this illusion to others. You never really got to know who you are as a person. And if you don't know who you are as a person, do you even know your significant other? What does she, what what do you know about her as a person? And then that resentment kicks in. And because of that resentment, because you haven't been, call it, because there hasn't really been any type of rapport or actually close connection with that person, right? So then she also starts to resent you. And the attention that, you once used to give her because she was hot, because she had a 22-year-old body, and now she's on her 40s. So then she's now start to looking at that attention elsewhere. It's like, dude, you have a guy like Dr. Dre, one of the big top dog player of all time and stuff like that, still can't keep a woman. So it has nothing to do with money. You have a guy like, let's say, Scottie Pippen, and his wife ended up letting, Future smash. What's the correlation between these two guys? When you look at their wives, you could tell, yeah, they were very attractive when they were younger. I mean, they're still attractive now as a MILF or a cougar or whatnot, but they have that insecurity of, well, am I still hot? Or let me just cash out before he actually can replace me with a 22-year-old or something like that. So it's like, just because people have money or are in a certain position in life doesn't mean that they have it figured out, right? So, and the thing about it though is, like, most young kids today, they are looking at these role models. They are looking at to what they are inspired to be, the nice cars, the nice jewelries, and the hot wife. And to them, this is what life is about. And they never actually grow up out of it to the point where they start to figure out there's more to life than just that, than the appearance that they're trying to portray to others. And even now, you still have, let's say, 30s and 40-year-old that's still living in that fantasy land, and they are that their resentment towards their partner can still show based on the way they actually go through length. I'm talking about length, trying to protect those who are in the hookup culture, trying to protect those who are, who continue to objectify the opposite sex, and it's like, and I understand that part. I understand why it's being done, because, like, they still try to live vicariously through these individual. It's like they have the mindset of the grass is greener on the other side. So I have to put myself in a position just in case my wife decide to leave me. But a lot of this time though, like, a lot of these mindset becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more you try to keep up with this illusion of how people should see you as, the more you keep living in this past, back in the days back when you used to be the man, right? Because that's the thing that a lot of us are afraid to let go of, is the time when we used to be the man. The time that when we used to have, let's say, 4 or 5 chicks on rotations, the time when we used to have a lot of these quote unquote player stuff, and then now we have a partner. So we are settled with a partner, and then we still want to feel like we are still the man. you know. But there are other ways you could actually still have that rush. There are other ways where you can still go through life and feel that winning and still have that winning attitude. And that has nothing to do with your penis. You know, there's like, there's so many other things that you can conquer outside of, let's say, the flesh, outside of the next prosty, or outside of the next quote unquote baddie. There are so much more to life than that. And to think that that's the only way you can have the younger generation look up to you is by trying to show them that, yeah, I'm still the man, I can still get poom poom. I'm sorry, being delusional. Because a lot of these young men, right, when they are looking at these 40-year-old, these 50-year-olds that still acting like high schoolers, they actually find this amusing. They make fun of you because, like, you are still trying to stay at the party for as long as possible. Have you ever, like, because when I was younger, right, when I used to go to like college parties and stuff like that, and sometimes I would come across those, like, because I was like, what, 19, 20, you know, and then I would sometimes come across like those mid-30s and sometimes 40-year-old dudes at a party, right? With you could tell like they have like all these, they just shave their beards, like, let's say the day before. They still have like massive aftershave, massive, 5 o'clock shadow and stuff, and they still have like their frat boys outfit on, and try to still be the men of the party. It's like, dude, you just old. That's who you are now. You're just old. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being old. It's like people look at it as it's some sort of disease, getting older. And it's like, dude, if only you understood the type of privilege that comes with this age when you are getting older. You know, if you were able to acquire the wisdom that comes with that age, though. If. But now, imagine life is passing you by, and then that hot chick, that hot trophy, that is now your wife. And you start to think, what do I like about this woman beside her beauty? What is going to keep me around once the beauty fade? What is it about her personality that I would be able to actually cherish? Or are you just looking at just a trophy that's just collecting dust? Probably put her somewhere in the garage, but the trophies don't like being in garages. Trophies don't like being in a closet. Trophies like to be displayed. And once you no longer show that you have any interest of displaying her anymore, guess what? She's going to try to find someone that actually wouldn't have any issue displaying her. Think about it. Well, anyway, so it's Arbanaga. Share, like, comment, subscribe. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.